on the subject of the hostages, also with us here in studio is Oded Lifshitz, a former football player. His grandparents, however, were also kidnapped into the Gaza Strip by Hamas from kibbutz near Oz. I'm sitting here with a pit in my stomach with this news coming out about the release of potentially 2 American-Israeli hostages. I cannot even begin to fathom what you are feeling at this point. And I think it's just pointless to ask how you and your family are coping, because the answer is evidently not well. But I would like to ask if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about your grandparents and how you found out that they were kidnapped into the Gaza Strip.
So my grandparents, we last contacted them on Saturday, 7th of October at 8:30 in the morning. They are living in kibbutz near Oz, which suffered mostly from kidnapping. We have about 40% of the hostages are coming from our kibbutz. I came yesterday from Eilat. We are in Yam Suf Hotel, which they brought all the kibbutz survivors there and their families. And really, it's a very, very difficult environment to have people of your family being hostages. It's like going on a roller coaster that you can't go out. It's just continuing till you wake up with it and you go to sleep with it, and all day is that. My grandparents, they were the pioneers. They are pioneers who found this kibbutz in the 50s, and since then they are human rights activists. They are people of peace. They are people of freedom. They are my grandfather is a journalist, been all his life, and with that he also fought in the wars of Israel since the Six-Day War until the Lebanon War. With that, he was always a human rights activist. He was active for the freedom of the rights of the Bedouins in the 70s. After that, the right of the Palestinians and the right of so many people around the world. If he could go all over the world and make the right thing, he was the guy of doing the right thing no matter what, you know. Having courage to do the right thing, which I think we missed so much today. And missing him, you know, I'm so sorry he is there, because his voice is so important in this time. And they are such an amazing people who fought so much for that. Even my mom came to the kibbutz as a volunteer in '82. And she was the last to stay there with them. Their children, each one left to his place, but we're all a very connected family. We're all there in Eilat, and my aunt, she's doing everything in London for them. And my mom stayed in that heaven. This kibbutz is really a heaven of people fighting for peace, fighting for human rights, the people of the kibbutz, which is such an important thing today in this view, what we have in this country today and with all the conflicts. And I'm very worried about my grandparents there, which it since last Saturday. Been so many days. They are sick people who took sick Palestinians from Gaza Strip, from the border of Erez, every week to the hospitals of Israel to get treatments they couldn't get in Gaza Strip, in the organization called On the Way to Recover. And even when they got sick, and my grandfather have some lung issues, and my grandmother, I'm not sure what happened when they took them, because she was sleeping with oxygen, and I don't know what they took, as the house was completely burned after that. We were in contact with them at 8:30 in the morning. After that, they went into the secure room, and we knew that Hamas terrorists, 300 Hamas terrorists, enter kibbutz Nir Oz with a very, very planned strategy, which they worked on it for a very long time. We saw so many maps and everything, so it's so sad. And the genocide happened in the kibbutz is horrible, and we didn't have any contact with them all Saturday. It was horrible, as even at 6:30 in the evening, still some people and the army came into the secure rooms to to take people out. So we were just about, to just get the information that they took them out, and we just got the information that nobody found them. Not only that, the house was completely burned. The piano of my grandfather, all their life achieving, destroyed. And this is the last thing I'm worried about for the moment. But it's really so difficult as well. We have so many kids that have been kidnapped from our kibbutz. I mean, from 9 months to 87 people been kidnapped, and the human corridor that has to be open now. And if these 2 Americans were released, I'm calling to continue this pressure, of the Arab leader as taking out those people who've been kidnapped from my kibbutz and taking my grandparents out and let them have their voice after they will be released. It will be a voice for a better world, because you will hear from them such a wonderful thing for hope and doing the right thing, and not any anger about anything. They're just that.
I hope you understand how, firstly, amazing and brave you are to be coming here and speaking and telling not only your grandparents' story, but also sharing with the world the fact that, again, we're not talking about military hostages. We are talking about, as you mentioned, 9-month-old babies. We're talking about babies, children, the elderly. And I hope you don't mind that I face the camera to say this, because it's important that our audience understands this. Daniel Lifshitz just described that his 2 grandparents are peace activists vying for the peace, the human rights of all minorities in Israel, including you mentioned the Bedouins community, the Palestinians as well, and also mentioning that they were bringing, and this is a phenomenon in Israel, a lot of people volunteer to bring sick Palestinian children from the Gaza Strip at the Erez crossing. You can look that up on a map, because that is a crossing that has a lot of people coming through for humanitarian assistance in Israel that they can't get in the Gaza Strip, which again points to the fact that perhaps a lot of the aid that is going into the Gaza Strip is not being used to assist with hospital buildings, education, infrastructure, but rather terror.